All right, the Saturday Sports Update for Real Talk Sports. It's coming up right now. Bam! Welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, Minister Jonathan Simmons, and we are back in the building. As you can see, I'm in my casual gear today. I'm getting ready to go to the gym. I'm trying to get myself back together here and back in shape. I busted up my finger, and it's back now. Praise the Lord. I'm able to actually move my hands properly. So we are looking to get back to the gym and be able to move about the cabin. So I said, "Hey, listen, I'm not going to even kind of dress up and then put the spray black in the hair. You guys are getting the full Monty straight up." So again, we thank you for those of you who joined us here on the broadcast this morning. Even the peek in, I know a couple of guys peeked in and ran right out. So there we go. You know, the one thing I find about doing these broadcasts is that you really have to kind of catch the attention of everybody immediately. Those people are gone. They just ran out the building. All right, let's get to the subjects really, really quickly. First of all, I want to, I don't know if Todd is watching. He might have peeked in for a second, but we have a long time watcher and listener, Todd. He stayed with us through our transition from back in the day. I'm going back a little bit when we used to be on Periscope before the nasty people at what you call it, Twitter took them over. It was great. Periscope, we had literally thousands of viewers that were coming from all over the world, but Periscope was gobbled up by Twitter. They made Twitter TV. Um, we lost most of our guys, and then it's turned to X, and now it's a fiasco. You have to pay them. But anyway, it is what it is. I don't want to get on here and rant. I'm just happy to be able to be in front of you today. I'm happy to be out here. I just thank the Lord for an opportunity to get with you guys and chat it up. Thank you for those of you tuning into the broadcast. You're probably saying, Minister, where have you been? What's been up? Yeah, like I say again, I busted up my pinky, then I had some blood pressure problems. But the bottom line is I said, hey, we're going to come on back and see if we can kind of chop up a little sports with you guys as we always used to do. All right, today I'm going to keep it brief on two topics here. One, the Pacers shocked OKC last night, 111-110. Tyrese Halliburton continued to be Mr. Clutch in this postseason playoff run that the Pacers have. He knocked down the game winner at 0.3 of a second last night. And the other question I have is, can Tyler and Bijan work together? You know, there's been all this talk here about the Falcons and their new additions to the team and the defense capabilities, and certainly they have on paper once again the potential to be a really great team. But no one is really talking about the idea of the Falcons being able to properly use Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algiers, and I think that's going to be a real key for this team if they want to be a championship caliber team, which I believe they can be. I believe the Falcons, once again, yes, are you drinking the Kool-Aid? Yeah, I probably am. But before we get into that, let's talk a little bit about the epic game that Tyrese Halliburton had last night for the Pacers. Unbelievable. This guy, once again, is Mr. Clutch. Now, here's the crazy thing. He only had 14 points for the game. I'm trying to go ahead and look this up here really quickly. I'm going to take a look here at his stats from yesterday. Let's go ahead and take a peek at the stats for Tyrese Halliburton last night. Like I said, again, he really I mean, he was kind of dormant for most of the game. The crazy thing is that they had 19 turnovers in the first half. The Pacers did 19 turnovers in the first half, just incredible. And Oklahoma City, this is crazy. They were up by 9 with 3 minutes to go. And so the Pacers win is unprecedented in NBA's finals history. No team has come back from that kind of deficit with that short of a time like the Pacers did last night. So again, in case you were asleep like me, Pacers, excuse me, not last night. I'm sorry, my bad. It was actually on Thursday night. Pacers 111 to 110 over OKC. I'm gonna go to the box score here so we can take a look at this and get you guys some of the stats on this. The sad thing about this overshadowed an epic game by SGA. I'm gonna look at his stats first before we get into the reason why OKC got knocked off. SGA, an epic ball game last night. I mean, excuse me, Lord have mercy, Thursday night. 14 of 30 from the floor, 3 of 6 from 3-point range, 7 of 8 from the foul line, a total of 38 points to go along with 5 rebounds and also 5 assists. Yeah, it's just, I mean, just an unbelievable scoring game from the MVP and should have been, on all accounts, enough to win the ball game. But here lies the rub. The problem is that OKC just relied on pretty much SGA. Whereas in the case of the Pacers, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Pacers players in double figures. And actually, the leader was the MVP from the Eastern Regional Finals, Pascal Siakam. He had 19 points and 10 rebounds. But again, Tyrese Halliburton showing why he is going to go down as one of the best clutch players in NBA history if he continues to go on like he did last night. 14 points, 10 rebounds for a guard, and 6 assists, 46% from the floor, 2 of 7, not too good from 3-point range. But again, the guy is just absolutely clutch. But here's the key. You had other Pacers players, like I said, 6 Pacers that were able to be in double figures. Miles Turner, big game from him, 15 points. Pascal Siakam, I mentioned 19 points from him and 10 rebounds. And Obi Toppin, a guy that some people thought that Atlanta was going to get here, 17 points as well. And here's the other thing that's very interesting. You got to give a lot of credit to the head coach of the Indiana Pacers, Rick Carlisle. This guy has green blood. He was a former Celtic, and he really is a guy that's a very underrated coach. And if you really look at this team, they really were able to kind of really space this out. They used the bench very well. TJ McConnell came off the bench, had 9 points. You had other guys that put in significant minutes. And really the only guy that logged heavy minutes was really, of course, that you expect Tyrese Halliburton because he is the engine that makes the train go. But Miles Turner, 27 minutes. Aaron Nesmith, 31 minutes. Obi Toppin, 25 minutes. TJ McConnell, 15 minutes. And Benedict Mathurin, 15 minutes. So really the key, if you look at OKC and why they were not able to win the game last night, Indiana was able to use a real full-blown team effort to knock off OKC. And I got to tell you something. If Indiana continues to do this, OKC is in trouble. First of all, they're in trouble right off the rip because you really put yourself behind the 8 ball when you lose the opening game of a series at home. Because now, in fact, you have put the ball back in the hands of the Pacers as far as having home court advantage. Because here's the problem. If OKC cannot win game number 2, they're going to find their backs firmly against the wall because you go down 2-0, and the way the NBA finals are set up, it's 2-3-2. So that means after these 2 games in OKC, Indiana has not 1, not 2, but 3 straight games in Indiana. And I got to tell you, man, between the Fever and the Pacers, it is basketball craziness in Indiana right now. I mean, the state and Indianapolis, the city, is sniffing and smelling themselves, brothers, because they have 2 teams that are red hot. If you look at the Fever, what they're doing in the WNBA, now Caitlin Clark is injured right now, and you look at Tyrese Halliburton, what he's doing with the Pacers, suddenly, man, the Midwest is the place to be for big-time basketball. I mean, it's unbelievable what is going on out there in Indianapolis. So again, big shout out to the Pacers. Big win on the road. A shocker. Halliburton hits the big bucket with 3/10 of a second to go. And like I said, man, it's going to be a situation if OKC cannot find a way to win game two. Now, all that being said, OKC still has the number one defense in the NBA. They did force 19 turnovers from the Pacers on Thursday night. And of course, they have the reigning MVP in SGA, a guy that, like I said again, dropped 38 in game one. So the preacher's prediction is OKC is going to pull this thing out. Remember, they lost game one against Denver, and they came back to win that series. Now, they struggled, obviously, to win that series against Denver. And had it not been for the fact that Denver's role players were so terrible, OKC might have lost out to the Nuggets. But nevertheless, like I say again, I still like OKC to win it. I think that this team is tired of being a runner-up. I think that they're tired of having these outstanding seasons and not being able to pull a championship. And again, keep in mind, this team was 68-14 during the regular season. So I'm looking for the Thunder to pull this thing off and be able to knock off the Pacers in, I think, maybe 6 games. Nah, I think it's going to go 7. Yeah, I think the Pacers are going to be a tough out. Let me leave that alone. I think it's going to go 7. It's going to take everything that OKC has to knock the Pacers off. But I think OKC will pull it off in game 7 at home, even with a blue out or a white out. Because, like I said, the fans in OKC, man, they're going to have it rocking. And like I said, you have the reigning MVP in SGA to pull it down. Hey, we're going to take a quick little break in the action here, and we're going to come back with more of Real Talk Sports Saturday Sports Update in just a minute. So, you know, I'm telling you as always do. Don't go anywhere. Keep it right here, locked in the Real Talk Sports Show. We'll be back with more in just a moment. Stay tuned.
Did you know that Allen Vigil Ford in Morrow, Georgia also has Lincoln? Over 35 years of using the Vigil Touch to provide excellent customer service, works hand in hand with the Lincoln Motor Company to provide a luxurious and seamless way to acquire your next luxury vehicle. Lincoln has an array of full-service complimentary owner benefits. These benefits include hospitality partnerships, service pickup and delivery, all which can be accessed through the Lincoln Way app. You can even contact the 24/7 concierge to have someone assist you. Come and see our great inventory of new and pre-owned Lincolns today. Call 678-364-7345 to make an appointment with one of our brand champions or shop 24/7 online at allenvigillincoln.net.
Congratulations. What do you think? Is it worth the wait, buddy?
I love it. I can't wait to get on the road with it.
Listen, man, thank you very much, and congratulations to you. Appreciate your business.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Congratulations, Amici, on your new F-250 that you got from us. How was your experience here at Allen Vigil Ford?
Thank you so much, Jonathan, man. I appreciate everything you did for me, man. This is awesome right here. And you.
All right. So for those of you who are not familiar with me, I do more than just sports talk. I am also a commercial account manager at Allen Vigil Ford Lincoln in Morrow, Georgia. And so if you need a vehicle for yourself, or especially if some of you people out here watching me have small businesses and you want to get a vehicle for your business, hey, contact me. Give me a call, 678-364-3979. Man, we'd love to take care of you. Also, if you just need a car for yourself or a family member, hey, I'll take care of you. I'm a straight up guy, very, very easy to work with. Allen Vigil is a family owned dealership. They've been around for over 40 years. We're right literally in the heart of Clayton County, right off of exit 231 on I-75. So come on, man, check me out, 678-364-3979. You can also text me and we'll set it up. Listen, check this out. I will even bring a vehicle out to your place of business. You don't have to come to the dealership. You just tell me, hey, man, I'm looking for an F-150 and I need your help bringing it out. And before I get back to sports, speaking of F-150, breaking news. Not only is Ford offering, and maybe some of you don't know, but Ford is offering now, if you buy a new Ford vehicle or new Lincoln, you can buy it at Ford employee pricing, which is insane. It's below dealer cost. But also right now on the F-150, we have 0.9%. If you qualify, that's right. They have interest rates as low as 0.9%. So, hey, man, don't be sleeping on this thing. Give me a call. All right, let's go to social media really quickly here and take a peek what we got going on here. Social media, we have our guy, Sullivan. He says simply, Sully. He says that time. Oh, Shucky Ducky, the one and only old man Sully is back in the building. Let's get it. We are here. in the building. And that's right. Jay Slice is back in the building. But remember, he's always, always on the green, or at least sometimes. All right, let's talk a little Falcons here. As I mentioned, one of the things that I think is with all this buzz about the Falcons and what they've done in the draft and picking up key players such as Javon Walker from the Jalen Walker, I'm sorry, from the Georgia Bulldogs, a guy who's an absolute stud, and also picking up the defensive end out of Tennessee. I think the missing ingredient is right here. You see it up on the screen. Tyler Algiers and Bijan Robinson working in conjunction. You know, like the old Sesame Street conjunction junction. What's your function? Well, I'm telling you guys, they have to. I really believe if the Falcons can find a way to utilize Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algiers together, they can really have something that I think could take them to the promised land as far as the title. And the reason why I say this is because you haven't had really a dominant running attack like this since you have to go back over 40 years. And the Falcons had a thunder and lightning backfield, very similar to this. It had Lynn Kane, and it also had William Andrews. And these two guys were absolute beasts. And they paid on probably what was the best. A lot of people think one of the best Falcons teams ever, which was the 1980 Falcons team, which probably should have won a Super Bowl, just like the 2016 team. But that team featured William Andrews and Lynn Kane, and they were the original Falcons kind of tag team running back where they brought that, like you said, thunder and lightning. And if you look at those guys, they were really, really tremendous. In that year of 1980, I just talked about, they combined for over 2,000 yards. And I think that the Falcons can do the same thing with Algiers and with Bijan Robinson. All the talk has been Bijan this, Bijan that. And don't be wrong, certainly Bijan is a great talent. But I think that people are missing the fact that Tyler Algiers, before Bijan got there, was 1,000-yard back. And here's the thing: if you look at this team and you think about the idea of a team being able to be dominant on the ground, think about this. Think about the fact that if you had over 2,000 yards in their rushing attack, they also combined for another 679 yards as far as receiving. Well, now all of a sudden you got a team with two guys that accounted for almost 3,000 yards. Think about that. From your backfield, almost 3,000 yards in total offense. Well, you can't tell me that kind of production would not make it easy for a second year, basically still a rookie quarterback in terms of Michael Penix. How easy would that make his job if he had these two dynamic running backs pounding away at the ball and to be able to throw to these guys in outlet passes when he was in trouble? I'm just telling you, man. I mean, the Falcons, I think, have a huge potential for greatness if they could use these two gentlemen as kind of our modern day version of thunder and lightning. So what do you think about that? What do you think? Do you think that the Falcons are overlooking? Do you think we all are overlooking this concept of having Algiers? Or are we just kind of looking only at Bijan Robinson and forgetting that Tyler Algiers is an absolute beast and that he's the guy that could, really rush for 1,000 yards himself? Do you think that this combination can work out? Or do you think, hey, man, we should just put all our apples in the Bijan Robinson basket? Again, I think the Falcons on paper, have a team that could really be a Super Bowl contender. And everybody's flipping out. They go, what? Minister, you crazy? No, I'm not crazy. I really think that this team has the potential, like I said again, to be able to go to the Super Bowl if they use the assets right. And here's the thing: not only go to the Super Bowl this year, But this could be a turning point in Falcons football history with these last couple of drafts they had, especially this last draft. Because if you remember, a lot of you guys probably don't remember because you're not old like me. But back in the 70s, the Pittsburgh Steelers became a dominant franchise for over a decade, basically in just the span of about 3 or 4 drafts from 1970 through 1973. They picked up, I think, 6 or 7 Hall of Famers, including Terry Bradshaw, Mean Joe Green, Jack Lambert, I think Andy Ham. What are the other guys they picked up there? Of course, the late great running back Franco Harris. All these guys were in the draft picks in the span of about 4 years. And so, if you look at what the Falcons have done with Tyler Algiers, Bijan Robinson, Michael Penix. And let's take a look at his draft picks right here. I'm going to go ahead and click on that and take a look at these guys. Excuse me for being all over the place, but I got 2 screens rolling here. In these draft picks this year, they got 2 edge rushers in Jalen Walker and James Pierce Sr. They also picked up Xavier Watts, a guy I got a chance to take a look at both when they played against Georgia Tech and when they played here in the national championship game against Ohio State. They also picked up defensive back Billy Bowman, a lot of people are raving about, and offensive tackle Jack Nelson, who, although he's a 7th-round pick, this guy's a mauler and brawler out of Wisconsin. So this draft, along what they've done over the last 3 or 4 years, like I said, picking up guys like Bijan, picking up guys like Tyler Algiers, this team now is poised to make a run and become a dominant team and be constantly in the conversation in the NFL to be a Super Bowl winner. And I know you're saying, Minister, you're talking crazy. None of these rookies have been on the field yet. And again, I'm going to go back to the same thing. If these guys perform at 85 to 90%, I'll just go with 85. If they give us 85% of what they're projected to be, this Falcons team is going to be a tough out. That's just the way it is. I mean, this team, like I said again, on paper, I know they have to play, as they say, on the grass. But the bottom line, I think the Falcons are good enough to be able to really make an impact and make a run. But again, I go back to the same thing. Can they find a way to use Tyler Algiers and, in fact, Bijan Robinson together in his backfield? Yeah, I know you got all kind of other weapons on this team. And I know that you want to utilize your wide receivers and your tight end. You have Kyle Pitts, a guy who's been kind of sleeping in the weeds. Guy once again is dealing with some injuries, which means that, unfortunately, barring a full recovery, we're going to have another subpar season. It might be the last season for Kyle Pitts here in Atlanta. But you have Drake London, a guy who is going to turn into, I don't want to say Julio Jones 2.0, but kind of to some degree. Obviously, he's bigger and taller than Julio, doesn't have the speed, but I think he has the same type of hand strength and the ability to catch balls in traffic that Julio gave you throughout his tenure here at the Falcons. So we know that the Falcons' air attack can be great. Michael Penix has an arm that we haven't seen since the departure of Michael Vick. And again, there's no disrespect to Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan was, we know, although oftentimes we kind of lambasted him, was really one of the great passers as far as accuracy and consistency, especially in his 14-year career. But as far as arm strength, that wasn't really his thing. He can get out there when he needed to, but as far as that ability, like a Michael Penix or Michael Vick, to be able, with almost a flick of the wrist, get that ball 50, 60 yards downfield in the air, like I said, Penix can do it. And Penix also seems to have picked up some of the accuracy. I shouldn't say pick up, has some of the accuracy that made Matt Ryan, a multi-time Pro Bowler and an MVP. And by the way, Matt Ryan is tutoring young Mr. Penix even as we speak. So looking at all these things, Penix picking up knowledge from Matt Ryan, his already prodigious skill sets, 2,000-yard running backs in Tyler Algiers and Bijan Robinson, a stud wide receiver, a guy that's going to be on the Pro Bowl team next year in Drake London, a tight end that if he ever gets out of the weeds could also be a potential Pro Bowler again, like he was in his first season, and a offensive line that is anchored by a Pro Bowler. So on offense, you know that this team can go. Defensively, if in fact Javon Walker and young Mr. Pierce and Xavier Watts are able to give you the type of play that we think they can, added with Jesse Bates, who's already on the team, added with uh, some of the other pieces that are there, this Falcons team, like I mentioned, could be a team that could be a tough out. It's been a tough out. We got to go. It's time for us to get up on our Dodge. Thank you so much for those of you who tuned into on the broadcast today. I want to remind you, as I always do before I leave. First of all, I just want to say thank you very much for those of you who kind of come back and peek in to see how the minister is doing. Like I say again, I've been banged up, had some other small issues to deal with, so I've been off the air for some time. But I wanted to come on and do the half-hour broadcast and just say, hey, we're still here. And we thank you again so much for those of you locked in to check us out. One thing before I go, as I mentioned, I'm a guy who wears multiple hats. One of the other hats I wear is the hat of a minister of the gospel of Jesus Christ. So before I leave this broadcast, I want to say to you today, with all the stuff that's going on out here in the world, all the craziness, all the evil, evil is marching through the world like never before, really. And especially in our country, we have so many evil people behind the scenes doing all kinds of nefarious things. And sadly, even to some degree, creeped into sports with all the greed and money, but that's for another show. What I'm asking you is do you know the Lord? Do you know God? Do you have a relationship with God? If you do not, I'm going to tell you something that's very, very important. You need to get one. And the way you do that is through belief in his son, Jesus Christ. I'll give you his government name, Yeshua HaMashiach. Here's how you do this. Repent of your sins and believe that Jesus came here on the earth, fully man, fully God, died, but rose from the dead. Now, if you believe that and repent of your sins, two great things will happen. Number one, you become a citizen of the kingdom of heaven, And number two, you become an adoptive child of God with all the rights therein. That means you now can go to God like a heavenly parent, asking for anything that you need or desire, and according to his will, he'll give it to you. And when you die, because we all got to do that, when you die, you go to that happy place called heaven, where there's none of the following: no pain, no pandemic, there's no bad people anywhere. You never get old, you never cry, you never die. But the coolest thing is you now are with God, with Jesus Christ, and all the people of love. It's a beautiful place. And you avoid that nasty place called hell, where all the things I just mentioned will not be there. It's the opposite. It's dark, it's dreary. You're locked up with the devil, all his demonic hosts, all the worst people ever to live on the earth. But most of all, you cut off from God and Jesus Christ and all the people of love forever and a day. I don't know about you, but like option number one is instead of option number two. All right, guys, the next time we get back together again, we simply say God bless you and have a wonderful rest of the day or evening, whichever may apply. So long and take care.